In 2030, what will the world look like? What will the future tech look like? Some things we don't know the answers to, but what we do know is that technology will play a huge part in that and the future of the world that we see. Year on year, the digital age becomes more and more blurred with the IRL world. Almost everyone has a mobile phone, something 20 years ago was not the case. Personal computers are a staple in most households, luckily enough to have one. There are many robots and devices that have been developed to help us in everyday life. Instagram, a purely digital platform for sharing pictures, has changed the game, with things like filters being huge business to change and alter facial recognition and features. Technology is always advancing, so catapult to 2030 and we are 8 years away, and what are the possibilities that could have an impact on our lives and also sustainability within fashion? We three collectives have designed and produced some digital assets that are blurring the boundaries between virtual reality and actual reality. Sustainability is not a buzzword people are using. It's change that is well overdue. I'm proud and excited to showcase what we have produced and the real impacts this could have on the fashion industry that has become one of the biggest polluters in the current world. Imagine a creative space where you can watch fashion shows from London, Paris, Milan and New York all in one place, without the huge carbon footprint of flying all over the world. The metaverse could change the Fashion Week schedule as we know it. 1,000 shows in a matter of days, with minimal impact on the planet. While saving the planet, the phygital designs could be digitally made to precise body measurements. The inclusivity would be the best it's ever been. There's more exciting change than just being so much more than sustainable. Sustainability is the big factor here, though. The power to create change in such a positive way is literally at our fingertips. We have each reached an array of different technologies to create these assets. From the stable programs that we have become accustomed to, like the Adobe Suite, Illustrator 3D, and Photoshop. Creating 3D prints to print on an IRL 3D printer and having the digital twin showcased in the shared creative space has been a goal of mine. Whilst we each have used innovative technologies to show what is capable, from QR codes to phygital designs, what becomes real and what is only digital. And as we walk through this space, there's 2 initial videos that I've created using Instagram filters, which have been around for many years to showcase what is truly out there and what is acceptable. So as we walk through this space, I will talk you through the layout and the overall thinking behind this project. So one of the biggest polluters that we face in today's world is plastic. And plastic is where I started my journey. Love it or hate it, it's become a staple material in the modern world. However, it's so bad for the environment, and we are now becoming woke to what it actually means to have all of this plastic in the world. How can the digital metaverse be a catalyst for change? This is the journey to starting that change. Whilst there are many different ways to implement change with a truly global reach, from a classroom in Manchester to destination everywhere, taking a closer look at the party dress, often bought for a special occasion, worn a couple of times and then hidden away in a wardrobe. How can we make this wardrobe staple more sustainable? With the needs of the customer ever changing, a garment that is worn once or twice for social media and then discarded is not sustainable. What if there was a way to have a phygital twin, to wear the physical dress but also have a version in the metaverse? And this is an example of a phygital dress. So I've made and created the IRL dress here, as you can see in this picture, but also the phygital twin, the physical and digital, is this dress here. And we start with the journey, which starts with the fabric itself. So as we walk through, we'll start with the fabric. So being able to create the fabric in using 3D print technology, as we can see here. So being able to create 3D embellishment on a digital roll of fabric to be able to be seen before it's painstakingly made, hand embellished, and then hand sewn. Whilst the technology is still developing, being able to design the embellishment in 3D form will allow the designer to show the buyers and those involved what the overall fabric will look like. And just as a quick example here, behind this poster, this is some 3D embellishment that I've created using Photoshop. I've exported that then into a program which has allowed me to generate it as an STL file, which is what 3D printers can read. So that's just an example of the embellishment that you can create. Much like this bolt of fabric here on the ceiling. And then there are some additional information here about creating the fabric. Real good quick read of these 5 steps that I use to create this overall dress, which is a physical garment, but then also a digital version of that has been created, making the phygital. Being able to see this dress in its 3D form with the 3D embellishment will allow the designer, like myself, to show the buyers and those involved in the buying process and manufacturing process what the overall fabric will look like and should look like. Quite often a sample can be made and small changes will be made and a resample will need to be resubmitted before being bought. With a digital version of the fabric, you can see exactly what the fabric will look like, reduce the amount of sampling needed. Sometimes a single garment can have up to 6 or 7 samples. A further step in the reduction of sampling is designing the garment on software called Clo3D. And I have a couple of examples over here of these garments that were created on Clo3D. So this baby doll dress here that I used and created in Clo3D with the additional zebra print embellishment. And you're able to walk around this piece and see what it looks like. And additionally, this version of the dress is on a hanger. A lot of people talk about in the industry the hanger appeal of a garment. Oh, it doesn't have hanger appeal, it doesn't have this, it doesn't have that. But in the phygital version, you can still get that digital hanger appeal. So these garments were created on a program called Clo3D, which allow you to fully visualize and realize the final product. You can also export the pattern pieces exactly to scale to fit specific measurements and can be emailed to create that exact garment. You can visualize how the garment will move and drape on different body types too, as we can see on this here. You can see what the dress will look like on a standing form or on a moving physical form. And I'll just go through here. So then these physical assets were created, and these are the actual pattern pieces that are then 3D printed. We also have technology like handheld scanners which allow you to scan items or dresses. So as an example, the physical dress that I made, which is the party dress, I was then able to fully scan this dress IRL and export it onto the metaverse, where you can see all the detail here, all of the embellishment, and that then can be shipped, sent everywhere all over the world, other planets even. And it's then that copy and that version that we've created using another form of digital. And so to sum up the Digiverse, I think there's a lot of potential, and just like most things, given the time and the right resources, could become an amazing asset to help with the future of the fashion sustainability issue that we currently face. Production could have so many processes cut out, sampling could be reduced to one perfect sample. As a designer, being able to create in 3D allows me to visualize and adapt to what I can see. It also inspires another multitude of designs. I have been able to be really playful and really experimental with the programs that I've been using. Hand sketching designs in Photoshop, such as the embellishment, to then transfer them into an STL file to physically print on a 3D printer. Creating full garments in Clo 3D, using Blender to recolor and rescale. There are many different programs out there, even using the handheld body scanner to scan in the Phygital, the physical 3D printed dress to have as a digital version, thus creating a Phygital asset. Technology like this would be great for archive pieces. Having the option to have these garments scanned and created into a 3D asset would allow so many more people around the world to see and interact with these garments. That for me is truly the future, and truly what I would like to see. Sustainability, sharing ideas and being creative. This is what the digital age means to me, and I hope that 2030 will be more about sharing, more about creating, more learning, more sharing, and ultimately less physical making. Thank you.